Wars are terrible things. There's really no other way to put it. They're usually messy, bloody affairs that end up taking the lives of millions and changing the world forever. And while most wars are confined to some small slice of history that we all learn about in school, there are some wars that changed everything. Here are our picks for the top 10 most significant wars that changed the world. Number 10, the Persian War. From 492 to 486 BCE, the Achaemenid Empire, also known as the Persian Empire, attempted to conquer the Greek mainland, leading to one of the most influential wars in the ancient world. While the Persians had superior numbers, the Greeks were able to hold them off thanks to their superior tactics and strategy. This series of conflicts, which included the battles of Marathon, Salamis, and Plataea, resulted in a decisive Greek victory. As a result, Greece was able to remain independent from the Persian Empire and continue to develop its own culture and institutions, which would later have a huge impact on the rise of Rome. Number 9, the Punic Wars. Between 264 and 146 BC, Rome fought a series of 3 wars against Carthage, a powerful North African empire that was a major rival of Rome during the late Republic period. These wars, known as the Punic Wars, were fought over control of the Mediterranean Sea and were some of the most brutal and intense conflicts in ancient history. The first 2 wars were relatively close, but the third and final war resulted in a decisive Roman victory. As a result, Carthage was completely destroyed, and its territory was divided between Rome and its ally, Greece. This victory made Rome the dominant power in the Mediterranean and set the stage for its eventual conquest of the entire ancient world. Number 8, the Mongol invasions. From the 13th to the 14th century, the Mongols were a nomadic people who lived in the steppes of Central Asia. Under the leadership of Genghis Khan and his successors, the Mongols would go on to conquer a vast empire that stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. During this time, they engaged in warfare with many different cultures, including the Khwarezmians, the Jin and Song, the Russians, and the Poles. These wars were incredibly brutal and resulted in the deaths of millions of people. However, the Mongol Empire would eventually collapse due to internal strife and outside interference. Despite their short lifespan, the Mongols had a profound impact on the world. They helped to spread gunpowder, the printing press, and other technologies throughout Eurasia. They also facilitated trade along the Silk Road and other important trade routes. Number 7, the Crusades. Over a span of almost 200 years, the Crusades were a series of religious wars sanctioned by the Latin Church in the medieval period. They generally took place in the Eastern Hemisphere and primarily involved Christian forces fighting against Muslims. The First Crusade, which took place in the 11th century, was successful in capturing Jerusalem and establishing the Kingdom of Jerusalem. However, the other Crusades were less successful and ultimately failed to achieve their goals. Despite their military failures, the Crusades had a profound impact on the relationship between the West and the East. They led to the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture between the two regions. But perhaps most importantly, they marked the beginning of the end for feudalism in Europe. The Crusades required a lot of manpower and resources, which helped to shift the balance of power away from the nobility and towards the growing merchant class. This shift would eventually lead to the decline of feudalism and the rise of capitalism. Number 6, the Peloponnesian War. The Peloponnesian War was a brutal and protracted conflict between 2 of ancient Greece's most powerful city-states, Athens and Sparta. The war began in 431 BC and lasted for 27 years, concluding with the destruction of Athens in 404 BC. The conflict was ultimately caused by growing tensions between the 2 powers, as well as the increasing dominance of Athens in the Aegean Sea. The war was marked by periods of intense fighting, followed by temporary truces. Some of the most notable battles of the war include the Battle of Sphacteria and the Battle of Aegospotami. The outcome of the war was devastating for Athens. Its navy was destroyed and its economy was crippled. The war also had a profound impact on Greece as a whole, ending the golden age of Athens and paving the way for the rise of Macedonia. Number 5. The Hundred Years' War. The Hundred Years' War was a series of conflicts fought between England and France from 1337 to 1453. Despite its name, the war was not fought continuously, and it took place in stages. The war was primarily fought over control of the French throne, as well as territories in France and England's possession. Some of the most famous battles of the war include the Battle of Crécy, the Battle of Poitiers, and the Battle of Agincourt. The war had a profound impact on both countries. It led to the rise of nationalism in France and the decline of England's power and prestige. It also marked the beginning of the end for feudalism in Europe. As the war dragged on, new technologies and tactics were developed, such as the longbow and the use of gunpowder weapons. These innovations would later play a key role in the decline of feudalism. Number 4. The 7 Years' War. The 7 Years' War was a global conflict fought between 1756 and 1763. The war was fought between two main alliances, the Kingdom of Great Britain and its colonies on one side, and a coalition led by France, the Kingdom of Prussia, and the Russian Empire on the other. The war was fought in Europe, North America, South Asia, and more. Some of the most notable battles of the war include the Battle of Rossbach and the Battle of Leuthen. The war was a costly one, resulting in the deaths of around 1 million people. Despite the high death toll, the war had a profound impact on the balance of power in the world. The war resulted in a British victory, which led to the expansion of the British Empire and the decline of French power. The war also marked the beginning of the end for the Dutch Empire. Number 3. World War I. World War I was a global conflict that took place from 1914 to 1918. The war was fought between the Triple Entente, which included France, Russia, and the United Kingdom, and the Triple Alliance, which included Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. The war was triggered by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary. The war was characterized by unprecedented levels of violence and bloodshed, with an estimated 15 million people killed. The war had a profound impact on the world. It led to the collapse of 4 empires, the Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, German, and Russian empires. It also paved the way for the rise of the United States as a global power. The war also had a profound impact on Europe in particular. It led to the redrawing of the continent's borders and the creation of new states, such as Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia. Number 2. World War II. World War II was a global conflict that took place from 1939 to 1945. The war was fought between the Axis powers, which included Germany, Italy, and Japan, and the Allied powers, which included France, the United Kingdom, the Soviet Union, and the United States. The war was one of the deadliest in history, resulting in an estimated 70 to 85 million deaths. The war had a profound impact on the world. It led to the formation of the United Nations and the beginning of the Cold War. It also had a profound impact on Europe in particular. The war led to the decolonization of much of Africa and Asia, as well as the division of Europe into Western and Eastern blocs. World War II also saw the rise of some of the most infamous dictators of all time, such as Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin. The war also resulted in some of the most horrific atrocities of the 20th century, such as the Holocaust and the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Number 1. The Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was a conflict that took place in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia from 1954 to 1975. The war was fought between the communist-led North Vietnam and the U.S.-backed South Vietnam. The war was a divisive one, both in the United States and around the world. It resulted in the deaths of an estimated 58,000 Americans and 2 million Vietnamese. The war had a profound impact on the United States. It led to the end of the Cold War and the beginning of the era of détente. It also had a profound impact on American society. The war led to widespread protests and riots, as well as a growing distrust of the government. The Vietnam War is often seen as one of the most significant conflicts of the 20th century. It marked the end of the Cold War and the beginning of a new era in world politics. It also had a profound impact on the United States and its role in the world. The war led to the end of American involvement in foreign conflicts and the beginning of a new era of isolationism. Do you agree with our list? Are there any other wars that you think should have been included? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Have a great day.